This is an off the chart special bulletin. Welcome to a special episode of Off the Chart, a business and medicine podcast. I'm your host, Keith Reynolds, and this week we've got a conversation with Medical Economics Editorial Director Chris Mazzolini and Senior Editor Richard Payerchin. They're talking about the first ever Medical Economics Insider, an exciting new way to interact with the content you crave. So, Chris, Richard, how y'all doing today?
Hey, Keith. Thanks for having us.
Doing well, Keith. Thank you.
It's great to have you guys. It's always good to get the MedEc guys together in a room. So, Chris, let's start with you. What is Medical Economics Insider, and how is it different from our 100-and-some-year-old print publication?
So, Insider is an exciting evolution to the kinds of products that we can offer in terms of content. So we obviously have a 100-year-old magazine that we love, our readers love. It's not going anywhere. But Insider is a way to sort of bring a print product into a digital interactive format. So, for example, this will be exclusive content that you can only get within the Insider publication. And along with in-depth features, practical tips, there will be a chance to also view, listen to, interact with multimedia content along with the print. So, for example, if we have a cover story that's diving into an issue, there will be some video or some audio that accompanies that you can actually click and watch or listen right there within the Insider publication. Like I mentioned before, this will be exclusive content. This content will not be reproduced on the medicaleconomics.com website. It won't be in the print magazine. It will only live within the Insider publication. So if you want to check it out, what we're offering, you'll have to check out Insider.
So, Chris, I haven't been able to get my proverbial hands on the new issue. So what's inside? What are we featuring this time?
So to start off, we have a cover story that gets into the finances of practices, but I will let Richard speak more detail about what he actually covered in that story since he authored it. But what I will say is that along with Richard's really great in-depth reported story, we also have some exclusive video interviews with leading practice management experts, physicians, a coding expert that will be embedded right along with the text of Richard's story, so that you can, as you're reading along, you can go and click one of those videos and watch it right there within the Insider publication. So that's exciting. But I'll let Richard speak more on his actual topic in a little bit. In addition to that cover story, we also have some exclusive survey results from our physicians on a hot button spicy topic, which is the growing movement to grant nurse practitioners more practice independence. So we surveyed our audience. We got great response and a lot of really interesting data that we will share within this Insider publication in a sort of interactive format where the reader can go in and actually click which data they want to view, and there's some animation about how the data is presented. So it's like a really interesting way to sort of view data. And it's a very, like I said, it's an interesting topic that I think a lot of our physicians are going to be interested to see what their colleagues think about this nurse practitioner independence movement. So finally, the other thing we have is we wanted to do something very practical and tips-based. And so we know that one of the major issues that frustrate physicians and practice staff is payer contracts and negotiating payer contracts and always feeling like you're sort of getting taken advantage of. So we offered some expert driven tips on how physicians can improve their contract negotiation with payers, and there's some interactive features so that physicians can sort of click through the different tips and view them in the order that they want. And it's just kind of a cool way to share practical tips-based information. So that's what we have in this first lineup. We're excited about it, and I think our readers and our physicians are going to really like it.
Oh, definitely. It sounds action-packed. So, Richard, as Chris prophesied, it's your turn to talk. Tell me, what's this cover story about, and what did you discover?
Thank you, Keith. I was going to say for this article, we wanted to investigate practical cost-cutting strategies for medical practices facing the 2025 Medicare physician fee schedule cuts. What I discovered is that doctors are frustrated about the 2025 cut, but not necessarily surprised, because physician reimbursement has been declining for years. I also learned that just about every medical practice, like just about every business, can always find some way to reduce expenses. But so many medical practices are already running lean, and one business analyst mentioned it's hard to cut your way to success. So for some practices, the better option will be to look for ways to add revenues.
Okay, all right. And Richard, as Chris mentioned, we are a very tips-based website, and that's what our audience comes to us for. So what's one tip that you can share that you got from our experts, just as a preview, just to give them a taste?
Absolutely. One great tip I learned came from Reed Tinsley, a CPA and medical practice advisor based in Houston, Texas. He said that every medical practice already has its own baseline or benchmark to use for analysis, especially for containing practice overhead. He suggested that doctors and practice administrators look at what they spent on overhead for the year before, line item by line item, and compare that to current expenses. If there's a spike, ask why that occurred. If there's an explanation, that's fine, but if not, then it's time to investigate the cause.
Alrighty, guys, I gotta say, I am excited, and I can't wait to get a hold of this. So, Chris, tell me, I gotta know, where can I find the Insider, and how often is it going to be coming out?
So this premiere issue of Medical Economics Insider is publishing today. So the best place to go find it is medicaleconomics.com. You'll see it. It'll be right on top. In addition, we'll be creating a publication section where all the back issues of Insider will live in perpetuity. So I think that's there'll be a lot of great content as we produce more of these. And in terms of publishing frequency, we'll be publishing these quarterly. So this one's coming out in March. We'll have the next one in June, then September, and then December. And that's our plan for this year. It's very possible we end up doing more of these in the future as we, get more adept at producing this interactive content. But yeah, we're very excited about it, and we think it'll be a really useful way for our physicians to interact with our content. We obviously have the print magazine, which isn't going anywhere. We have the website filled with news. We have videos, podcasts. And then this Insider will be just like another way that we can sort of help our physicians, manage the business side of medicine. So yeah, we're very excited, and thanks, Keith, for having us on to chat about it.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. Again, that was Medical Economics Editorial Director Chris Mazzolini and Senior Editor Richard Payerchin. My name is Keith Reynolds, and on behalf of the whole Medical Economics and Physicians Practice teams, I'd like to thank you for listening and ask that you please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
If you'd like the best stories medical economics and physicians practice publish delivered straight to your email 6 days a week, subscribe to our newsletters at medicaleconomics.com and physicianspractice.com.
Oh, and one more thing. Be sure to check out Medical Economics Pulse, a quick-hitting news podcast that offers concise updates on the most important developments affecting your practice, your bottom line, and the broader healthcare landscape, all brought to you by the editorial team at Medical Economics.
Off the Chart, a Business of Medicine podcast, is executive produced by Chris Mazzolini and produced by Keith Reynolds and Austin Luttrell.
Medical Economics, Physicians Practice, and Patient Care Online are all members of the MJH Life Sciences family. Thank you.